Montreal Canadiens and the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. One period, all I will say is the New York Rangers have been the superior team because they outshot the Montreal Canadiens 14-4 in the first period. Carl Hagelin scored a goal, and scoring might seem easy because Carey Price is out at goaltender, but Montreal put up a good effort in the first period, and Hagelin in this line, they scored on Montreal's first line, which featured PK Subban. And I thought that was really impressive, the way the Rangers scored and took care of business in the first period. Rangers lead 1-0 after one period. We'll see what happens in the next two periods. Okay, so we're back, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I put on the Ohio State hoodie because I'm kind of cold. But the only significant thing that happened in the second period was the Andrei Markov goal. You continue to see the Rangers outshoot the Montreal Canadiens. There's really no plot behind this game, and the third period is going to decide everything. And if nobody scores in the third period, if it's still tied after three periods, we're going to see overtime, next goal wins, and all the anticipation as to who scores next, third period, it's going to set up for an epic finale, and I expect the Rangers to take it. But if Montreal scores at the right time, they could win a game. They could come back, possibly tie this at 2, or win Game 5 as the Rangers go up 3-1, allowing the Rangers to take this series in 6 games. I still think the Rangers are going to win the series, even if Montreal gets lucky, but if Montreal does not get lucky in this third period, they do not score at the right time, this series is over, and the New York Rangers will go to the Stanley Cup. Two Daniels made things happen in the third period. First, you saw Daniel Briere score off a tipped skate. You assumed the Montreal Canadiens would win. And then Daniel Kreider scored in the final seconds of the third period with an empty net, made it 2-2. The game would go to overtime. Who will win Game 3 in overtime? So what happened in overtime, you saw a little bit of action, you saw some tension go back and forth, but where the skater was at the right time mattered. And this was a goal that happened on a subconscious level. And I know people say you have to control what you do on a conscious level, but when you're playing sports, you have to react instead of thinking about reacting. And when you react, you're usually reacting on a subconscious level. You don't realize how you're reacting in the heat of the moment, the intensity of the game. And Alex Galchenyuk, the former Sarnia Sting center, the 3rd overall pick in the 2012 NHL draft, was in the right place at the right time in this Game 3 of the playoff series. And he's one of those guys that got drafted early, reminds you of Seguin, reminds you of Nugent Hopkins. He's a guy that had top 5 talent in his selected draft class. And he showed some flashes of potential last year's playoffs, but the guy was young, he was inexperienced, and making a critical Game 3 statement where you beat the New York Rangers is vital, absolutely paramount. And because it was Galchenyuk that scored the game-winning goal, I think Montreal does have a chance to get back in this series if they win Game 4 in Madison Square Garden. They ended the 5-game winning streak for the Power Rangers, and I can't bring up that reference because Galchenyuk defeated the mighty Power Rangers in overtime. So Galchenyuk gave the Canadiens more confidence, more hope, but PK Subban's lackluster play enabled the Rangers to score 2 goals, taking Subban out of the lineup. Michael Therrien made a critical mistake there, but you look at this game, Galchenyuk saves the day, Canadiens win, Rangers lead the series 2-1. Chris Ransom, Draft Utopia.